I just turned 30 on April 28th, and here's what I'm using my astrology chart for to predict the year ahead and what this year of my life has in store for me. First things first, whenever you're turning a new age, you gotta look at your perfection year and which one you are moving away from and into. This is a literal screenshot from my ebook on astrology. It will walk you through all of this and basically everything on how to read your chart. From this little diagram, I can see that 30 is a 7th house perfection year. So I'm moving away from a 6th house perfection year and into a 7th house perfection year, which means relationships are going to be a huge focus. I've literally already felt this shift since Sunday, my birthday. Now we take that to my chart. I have Aries ruling my 7th house. So there's a lot moving through there right now. I also have my natal Mars and Aries in the 7th house on my descendant. This is going to be a year of really setting those hard boundaries, being really direct with people about what I'm not willing to put up with. And because my Mars is in the decan of the sun, we look to my sun sign as well for more information around that. Since my sun and Mercury both are in the 8th house, they're in mutual reception with my Venus. They're in opposite decans as well. So, my Mercury is in the decan of Venus, my sun's in the decan of Venus, and my Venus is in the decan of Mercury, mutual reception. Mutual. So what this tells me is that, one, I'll be traveling a lot this year to develop more intimate and vulnerable connections with people that meet my new energetic standards around what I'm only allowing, what type of relationships I'm only allowing into my life. Now, this has also been a huge focus of me since last year because the North Node has been moving through my 7th house, and this will just be amplified in my 30th year. As the South Node is in my 1st house, and it will be on top of my ascendant soon. During this perfection year, that is an indicator that I need to release old patterns around my sense of self, my identity, and my self-worth in order to step into these new relationships and holding the boundaries and the standards, my current new values, high. And if people don't meet them, they gotta go. Because this is the South Node at play, I cannot be afraid to release people that do not meet my new standards and values. Because this is the beginning of a whole new cycle and a whole new life for me. I'm also in my Saturn return, so setting the foundations for the next 30 years of my life, being really committed and disciplined to setting those boundaries and those hard no's. No is a full sentence, and I'm learning that right now. I'm learning to speak up for my needs and say, hey, I want to do this. Hey, I need this from you. Hey, I don't like this. And if we can't get on the same page, you gotta go. Another thing I'm looking to is my solar return chart for my 30th year. I'm a Sag rising, Sag moon, which is my natal moon sign, but my natal rising, as you just saw, is Libra. So this is going to switch some things up for me this year. If you saw the video I did about this, Sag risings and Libra risings are the most likely to leave singlehood if you're single this year because of all of the things we have moving through Aries, and Aries ruling Sag's 5th house and Libra's 7th house. And then for Sag risings, Jupiter is moving into Gemini, into your 7th house if you're a Sag rising. This is going to bring about a lot of new connections, especially as it relates to romance, dating, and actually entering into a relationship. If you're in a relationship or you want to have kids and get pregnant this year, this is also the time to do it for Sag rising. So, I'll keep y'all updated. This is going to be a big theme of my life for the next year. Also, South Node in the 11th house, releasing old friendships, what I just talked about, people that don't meet my standards or values that I've stepped into as I've changed my sense of self and worth. And lots of dating experiences. I cannot even tell you the amount of guys I have met, talked to, realized this is not going to work, cut off. It's just insane. I feel like every week there's a new guy or two. It doesn't go further than talking, but I just, it's happening. It's a focus. And it's going to continue to be until I meet the one. Another thing that's a focus for me now is setting boundaries with family. This literally just came up yesterday, a day after my birthday. Astrology never lies. And being really, really clear and concise with how I'm setting the boundary and upholding it. Speaking up for my needs clearly and directly. This is going to bring about a lot of healing in my relationships and in terms of my mental health as well, because we have Mercury on Chiron and Chiron on Venus, so real close to Venus. And because Jupiter is the ruling planet of this solar return chart and Jupiter is on Uranus for my solar return chart, there's going to be a lot of chaotic, sudden, unexpected changes in terms of my work life and my routine. I've already been feeling this. The energy has been incredibly chaotic and a little overwhelming lately. Do you relate? And the moon is out of bounds. So this year is going to be a lot of sudden, unexpected surprises and changes that help me to have more faith in what is possible for me in my life and believe in miracles. Now, the other thing, I'm still not done. This is crazy. The other thing we can look to around the time of your birthday is your progress chart, also called secondary progressions. Don't get me started on why it's called secondary. It just is, okay? We call it the progress chart. I have a whole class on it in my membership. as well as how to calculate all of these different charts. I'm using the app Astrogold. I know you'll ask a lot. It's an investment, but it's worth it 100-fold. I use this app multiple times a day and have for 3 years. You only pay for it once. Anyways, this is my progressed chart. So my progressed Mercury just moved into Cancer, so my career is a huge focus. Also balancing how I'm showing up in my career with taking better care of myself and setting boundaries around that, like we just talked about. When it comes to progress charts, you want to see what the major changes are. So like I just shared, my Mercury just recently moved into Cancer in my progress chart, and my progressed moon is about to move into Aquarius. This is going to bring about a change in how I handle emotions. And it's moving into my 5th house, into Aquarius. So again, everything I just talked about with like dating, romance life is going to change and going to be a huge focus. Also, starting a family will be a huge focus for me because this is the area that rules children. Since my progressed moon has been in Capricorn, it's really been a huge focus of like me building security in my home, 4th house, so that I am ready when the time is here to start a family. And I really feel like this has been preparing me for when my progressed moon moves into Aquarius. The progressed moon moves every 2 years, so it's going to be in Aquarius in about 2 months from now. I also have a lot of Mars action going on this year. Like I have my Mars return, progressed return, and then I also have my natal Mars return because my natal Mars is in Aries and Mars just moved into Aries at the time that I'm filming this. Just amplifying everything I talked about earlier and setting really clear, direct boundaries in my relationships and not being afraid to let people go who don't align with me. There's so much more I could go into, y'all, and I probably will in my next live and my membership on Thursday. Do you do any of this around the time of your birthday? Let me know in the comments. And if you're a fellow Taurus, happy birthday! Come join the membership community.